Hello everyone, it's me Maya and welcome to my channel. Today I will be doing my February wrap up and March TBR. In the month of February, I read 3 books and I'm on my 4th one now. The first book I read, which I don't own, is All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. Now this book is a World War II novel based in German-occupied France. And it's I have no idea how to sum it up in a few words. But I'm going to try. Marie-Laure is this French girl who is blind. And her father is a locksmith and a carpenter type person. So he builds her models. And there's also Werner, who is a German youth. And he ends up going into the Hitler Youth. What's interesting about these two people and these stories is how they finally intertwine, but also I feel like this book sheds a lot of light on the other side of World War II. I think a lot of times, I know me, you don't want to see the German side of it, and you don't even want to hear what they have to say. To see people who went through the Hitler Youth and who had to deal with the ramifications of Hitler and everything that he did. This book had a lot going on. It was very beautifully written. I'm not sure if I said already that I listened to the audiobook, so it was cool, that immersive experience. A lot of these descriptions were sensory, so you would hear, because Marie-Laure was blind, so you would hear how she would hear things and how she manages her world. Just a really well-written book, and I really enjoyed myself. So I did get pretty distracted reading, but I enjoyed it, and I really liked it. Overall, I did enjoy All the Light We Cannot See. I definitely understand why this won so many awards, and this is not really a book that you can explain outside of the summary and blurb, so I definitely suggest that if you're interested in it or you've heard about it, to definitely go check out the blurb and see how you might like it. Because there's so much with this book that I couldn't do it justice at all. The next book I read was Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close by Jonathan Safran Foer. So this book was about Oscar Schell, whose father died during 9/11. And a year after, on the anniversary, he finds clues that might lead to this big treasure hunt that his father left him before he died. So I love the concept, and I was very interested in how they were going to, how was this going to play out? What did his father leave him? I love how this book does not go how you think it's going to go. There's definitely a lot more to the story than you may have thought that you would get from this story. The book is a lot more dense than the movie. I read the book first and then the movie for the Read Harder challenge because I wanted to see how they two compare. And I will be doing a discussion on whether the book was better or the movie was better. And I also want to talk about a lot of other movie book adaptations. The book was pretty dense, and it had a lot more information coming at you, not necessarily good information. And by that I mean because Oscar is trying to deal with, he's really coming to terms with the fact that his father has passed away, and he's looking at all of these other tragedies that happen. A lot of these are a lot of heartbreaking tragedies. So it's just this is too much for my heart. Still a good book. Not saying it's not a good book because of that. It's definitely a rich story. There's a lot going into it. But just know it was a good book. I did enjoy it. It's definitely interesting to see. Okay, let's talk about Oscar. Because Oscar was an interesting character to sort of see how his mind works. And he was, in my opinion, the little boy was rude. He was really rude, and he was like a real know-it-all. I don't know how I feel about you, kid, because you're really just going off. But it's interesting to see things from a little boy's point of view. So it's just like, how does this little boy see his world, and how does this little boy kind of come to terms with things? So that was very eye-opening. But I don't want to get too deep into this discussion because I want to talk about more about it in the discussion. So you'll have to wait to find my full thoughts until the discussion I do a little bit later. So now let's go on to our next book, which is Far, Far Away by Tom McNeal. This is a modern fairy tale where Jeremy Johnson hears voices, and not in the, oh, this kid is crazy. He hears the voice for the spirit of Jacob Grimm, or Jacob Grimm, depending on how you want to pronounce it, who wrote the Grimm's Tales. And Jacob has been sent to kind of watch over them because of this evil finder of occasions that wants to hurt Jeremy. And it's so fascinating that this is truly a modern fairy tale, where if you remember a lot of the Grimm's tales of how good wins out and the evil is punished, you can really see the parallels here. This is another book where you think you know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen. I personally did not see a lot of it coming. It's a lot going on. I really like this book. I don't know what that says about me as a person, but there's a lot of things that happen where it's just like, oh my god, oh my god. I will be doing a complete review video so I can really discuss more about what this book was all about, because there's just so much that happened that I need to get out of my head. So please look out for that. There's going to be I'll link everything below once the videos are up so you can kind of come back to them. But oh my goodness, this book was crazy. It was crazy. Oh my goodness, I could go on and on, but I can't wait to tell you everything about this book. So that should tell you that this is the book that you want to read. Next, I'm currently reading Jackaby by William Ritter. Here is the dust jacket. The book itself is probably in my mom's car. Not really sure, but so far so good. I'm enjoying it so far, and I'm hoping that it's actually in my mom's car and I didn't lose it somewhere. So please wish me luck for that. And now we are going to go into my TBR. I have a couple books I want to read in March. And I really enjoyed how I did my African American TBR, where I had the picture flash and I narrated the title and the author. So I want to do that again for the books that I don't own, because the books that I do own, of course, I'll show them to you. But the books that I don't own, which I'm going to get from the library, I figured, why not flash these books up to you so you can see it. So the books I want to read in March are Cinder by Marissa Meyer. This is the first book in the Lunar Chronicles. If you follow me on Instagram, you already know I own this, and I'm so excited to have it. The next book is Shatter by Tahereh Mafi, and another fantastic cover that I'm so very excited to read. I think I want to read this book after Jackaby, and then after Jackaby and Shatter I want to get some more books from the library, because I think I've been fiending for some new books that I don't have to pay for. So let's see how that works out. I almost forgot to mention that I will also be listening to the Throne of Glass audiobook by Sarah J. Maas. And now for my library TBR. The Lumberjane series by Noelle Stevenson, Grace Ellis, and Brooke A. Allen. Volume 1, Beware the Kitten Holy. Volume 2, Friendship to the Max. Honor Girl, a graphic memoir by Maggie Thrash. The Lotus War series by J. Kristoff. Volume 1, Storm Dancer. Volume 2, Kinslayer. And Volume 3, Endsinger. And finally, The Big Rewind by Libby Cudmore. So those were the books that I want to read in March. I think that's about it for me. I told you my small wrap up, but I did read this month and I did enjoy the books I read. I think my favorite of the month would have to be Far, Far Away, because that one blew my mind. And I cannot wait until I do the review so I can really get into the discussion. It might rival Illuminate as far as excitement and just blown mindedness. So maybe Illuminate's here and then Far, Far Away is right here. So you can definitely look out for that review. So again, I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that like button. If you would like more of these videos, please subscribe. I make new videos every Wednesday, sometimes Saturday, and I hope to see you then. Bye guys!